If your child was learning to walk, they failed 3 or 4 times, would you just tell them to stop walking? No, you get up and you keep going.
Everyone's got a real estate story. Some are wins and some are total nightmares. We are here to give you the keys to what's really going on in Vancouver real estate, from what it actually takes to become a real estate agent to what it really costs to build a home, and all the stories in between. This is the real estate of things, where nothing is off the table and everything is negotiable. All right, our guest today, joining me and Colin, our guest today is Matt Greco, who is our real estate photographer, videographer, shorts, reels, everything in between, and owner of VP Visuals. And we've known Matt, I guess, for going on how long you think? 5, 6 years, I guess? Something like that.
Something like that. I started in 2020.
What were you doing before?
Ironically, I put a cable on the ground for Rogers. So I was slugging it out all day in the summer. And then in the winter times, I would take the time off when the ground froze in Ontario.
Yeah.
And I'd come out to Vancouver. Whistler, that's what got me out here. Yeah.
So doing what you did and doing what you do now, how did that come to be?
Well, if you want to see how I got into the cameras and just that lifestyle of just like video and photography. When I was in the middle of coming back and forth, when I was doing the time in skiing in BC, my brother got me a GoPro and then I just got obsessed with it. I was making videos all these times, like walking around, just like me out in the bush, like doing nothing. But I got addicted to video editing. And then when I went back to work and started putting cable on the ground, I would just always like watch YouTube videos and just obsess with just like videography.
Okay.
In general, it didn't even start with photos. And then maybe 2 years after that, I bought an actual camera. That was like my beginner camera that I had. But I just got obsessed with it. And then I just hit a point probably when I was 27 where I was like, you know what, like life is too short to not do what like I love doing. I was like scared just to move forward, just like I'm going to go full time with videography and photography. It was weird. I was like 27. Everyone around me was just in construction and all that. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And everyone just looked at me like I was trying to be a movie actor.
Really?
Yeah, that's what no one really like believes in you. That's what I felt. Like my parents were fantastic, family, but my friend group, they were just like, what are you talking about? Like I would be like, I'm editing tonight. Like that's what I'm doing. I'm staying in. I'm just gonna make videos.
Were you the only artist out of your friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I decided to come out here to pursue that, to specifically pursue making film and video work my life. And I ended up partnering up with a guy I met in Squamish. His name was Will. He was 22, lived in a van. Man, he was such a good artist. He had a red camera, he had a whole portfolio and all that, and a website. So we teamed up. I was helping him market it and then landing bigger contracts. And that's when I got into it.
And that was with real estate photography?
No, it was just like with brands, small brands and businesses. So we landed like 4 or 5 clients at that time. We did a About Me video for a veterinarian. We had one guy on a contract for YouTube videos on Van Conversion Company.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
We did a plastic surgery place. That was more like real estate because we were just showing off all the tools and like their new showroom and stuff like that. And then COVID hit, so we lost all those contracts. And I was trying to figure out what to do around that time. At that time, like real estate was rocking and rolling still. It was still open and all their other contracts were closed. So I was like, I'm going to take a swing at this. And I just fell in love with it.
What made you stick with real estate? Because it sounds like a SWOT analysis got you into it, but being such an artist, what made real estate stick and make that your main thing?
It was mostly that like once you land a client, you have a client, and it's more physical shooting and editing than, you know, outreach, shoot to kill. Because the other stuff was mostly shoot to kill. Like 75% of it was meeting with brands. Or meeting with companies. What's your vision? What's your goal? Like what ads do you want to run? Campaigning, you know, relationships, and like this business as well. But like that one, like in real estate, it was mostly just shooting. And at first I didn't even do photos. I'm video only. Like I just do videos and everyone's like, well, I just need photos. I had to learn quickly how to take real estate photos. What I love most about real estate is one, that it's not shoot to kill. The people that I meet are really like nice and day to day. Right? If it's your clients or just my own clients, like, you know, realtors are very sociable humans. It's very easy. And I am too, right? Like I love going out and just like talking to people.
I played with a little bit of editing because I'm a geek. I like the technology and stuff like that, and very quickly realized how insanely time consuming and how meticulous you have to be. And it is equal parts art and science. What would you say would be one of the things that people most underappreciate about editing in a video?
It would probably be how complex things can be, especially longer videos. I like wedding videos. I remember I did one. I spent 40 hours on editing it. It was my first one, but that's a full week of work. But I recorded all the speeches. I recorded the whole ceremony. I had probably two cameras. I had 4 hours of footage at the end of the day, and then I had to make a video. I made like a 12-minute video out of that, and then I made one for the vows and then one for like each person that went up and spoke. But yeah, I spent like 40 hours on it. It's just how like complex it is when you have a lot of footage and then just putting it together. And then probably sound design. I feel like sound design's underlooked like greatly. Like a really good video always has a really good sound design. Like when you watch movies in the theaters or anything like that are good ads, it's like they sync up really nicely. I feel like that's overlooked.
Part is overlooked in my opinion, like the timing of transitions between photos and how the beats of the song hit.
Yeah, but that's easy. You see the beat, you just cut right to it. But it's just getting the pieces together and then making a story. Like it's storytelling. Even though like we're shooting homes, like it's still storytelling.
What was your first place you shot? How'd you get it? How'd you start up? What'd you do?
So that's a very big common question for people that are starting, and it's how do you start? And what I did was like, when you're beginning, it doesn't matter what camera you have. I appreciated it more that I had a 6500, which would have been like a $900 camera at the time, and like a really crappy lens. But I learned that camera through and through in the settings and how far I could push it. And then even this one here, it's like a mid-range. Yeah, Lucille right here, right? Like it's not like the higher end ones. It's a really good photo camera. But like I just got my basics down, and I see a lot of people jumping in and just grabbing the best that you get, and then not knowing what they're doing. So that was like one thing. I just had like bare minimum gear. I had like a DJI Mini 1, like old.
That's a drone, yeah.
Yeah, and I just reached out to everyone, email, calling,
agents,
texting. Yeah, I'll do a free video. I'll do a free video. LinkedIn is where I got my very first job. My first 2 jobs was Elaine Andrews, and I still have her today.
Okay, nice.
Another one was a developer, Vic, and I still have him today.
Yeah.
And then after that would have been Theo Berkner. I went up to Squamish. I drove all the way up to Squamish and shot a house that they had. And all 3 of those I still have today. And then I've learned that you can't really give out majorly discounted work to get work because you attract the wrong people. And they consume a lot of your time.
It's cool to hear that how you got your start, because it's very similar to realtors. Like I know when I first started out, when Colin first started out, day one on the job, they got to put a certain level of trust in you, right? And they know you're brand new. They know I'm brand new, or Colin. But I think that goes to say about your individual character and how you carry yourself and being confident, and you're going to do it, and you have done it right. Yeah, it's a gamble for sure, right?
Yeah.
It's just part of it.
When I first started, because who I was living with at the time, they were very COVID cautious, and they didn't want me leaving the house to film anything. Right. So I ended up moving out on my own, and I moved into a garage behind one of these like character homes that got converted to like a studio, but it wasn't really converted into a studio. Like where the garage door was just drywalled, and there's a window, and I had concrete floors.
Yeah.
And there was a toilet in there, but there's no kitchen. There's no shower, nothing like that. I had a hot plate. Right?
It was a prison cell with a hot plate.
Oh, yeah.
Where was it? Like
this was East Van.
East Van? Of course it was East Van.
Yeah, it was Eden Street. I love Eden Street. Bell Street in Vancouver is Eden Street.
And how much were you paying for rent there?
It was $600.
Okay.
Everything included.
What's everything? The toilet?
No, the internet, the hydro, the water, right? I was fortunate enough to be able to go into the main house and have my showers and then clean my dishes.
Pretty fortunate.
I was pretty fortunate. And that's how I started. Like I was just like pure resilience. Like I lived very frugally, like for a long time. Mm-hmm. While I started, and I just reinvested everything back into my equipment and my time, and I just obsessed with it. And like I miss the garage days. Like life was very simple then. Mm-hmm. I really appreciate that time and just like the drive that I had. But also when I first started, I didn't think that I'd be so emotionally attached to how good my art is. Mm-hmm. And like when I made mistakes, I would have like days where I just beat myself up. Mm-hmm. Right. Or like I would look back at a video I made like 2 months ago, and I'd be like, I suck. Right. Why do I suck? right? Or like, what's going on here? But it was like a double-edged sword. Like emotionally, it was a roller coaster. And eventually, once you're like shooting for a bit, after like 2 years, 3 years, you get this big confidence. Like,
Yeah.
I don't make mistakes anymore. Like you have to go through those feelings to get to where you're going.
Well, they're called lessons, right?
Yeah, but it's more art too, right? And just being hard on yourself. Like, I've talked to painters, like, and they say the same thing. They're like, I hate my own work, right? But eventually, if you just keep going at it, putting the 8 hours in, you'll create something that you really like, and then you'll appreciate it even more because you know what it took to get there. But like, also, I appreciate the garage. I miss the garage. All great companies come from a garage.
Yeah.
Right. Look at the legends.
That's
Amazon,
That's true. Apple.
Microsoft, Viewpoint Visuals, VP Visuals. Right.
Shameless plug.
Now they're all great
Old
companies.
Tom at MySpace.
Yeah.
You get up and going, a few agents put their trust in you, and you got the business going and, reinvesting, like you said, in the equipment, things like that. How did you grow the business, or how did you stand out, I guess, from competition? Because, in real estate photography or photography in general, in some cases, you're just a number. But how'd you stand out? How'd you grow the business?
I did it just like the old school way.
Mhm.
Like I just put my best foot forward on everything that I did. Like any job or project, like same with video, I just always focus on like quality first. And then service. Like a big thing that gets overlooked in our industry is like we're a service provider.
Mhm.
Right. And you're showing up on someone's house on like a very stressful day. Like, I understand it. Your dog knocked over something. Now there's a stain here. You think this flower is ugly. Like, you guys have been arguing all morning about what goes where and what.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of money. Right. Like, you come in and like you try to just ease the situation. Right. And you read the room, obviously. But like, I think it's a combination of my personality with just like me putting my best efforts forward at all times. Because like everything matters.
What I love about you too is just that you are unabashedly, just authentically you.
Yeah, there's different versions of me, I'd say, but yeah, definitely.
Oh, I mean, we have young clients with, hilarious personalities, and then we have elderly clients, which sometimes you don't get to know if they have a really well-rounded sense of humor or not. And I have introduced you to some of those clients who now communicate directly with you and rebook you for stuff, and they love you. And my eyes are wide open going, oh my gosh, this person's 80-something years old, and I'm not sure, Matt's going to come in, his man bun, his Tofino surfer bro self, which we just love. You want to prep them or something, say, hey, Matt's just an awesome, jovial character. But I don't. And they always come back and they're like, Matt, he's the best. I love that guy.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But like, I just understand the situation. It's a stressful day. There's no need to be stressed or freaking out. Like, we're here to make the situation as easy as possible and you get the best result that we can, right? And like, another thing too is just like, you walk into spaces and like, they're 90% there, right? It takes 10 more minutes just to get them 100%, right? Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, sometimes we have crazy days where I'm shooting 5 houses at once and then I show up and it's like, oh my God, this house is like tenanted. Like, oh, you want to move some things? Oh. Majority of the time, my agents that I work with are great, and the house is 90% of the way, and that makes a huge difference when you're moving things and you're getting that like each room to like where it needs to be. To get more real estate agents and grow my business, it was just I focused on quality, and like I really focused on people that wanted to get on camera. It just spread.
Yeah.
Like it was mainly word of mouth. Like if you look at my social media, like I haven't posted since like 2023.
Right.
But like, I'm picking up new clients here and there like all the time, but I'm busy, right?
They call you. We call you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's just that, it was quality. And then at the start it was free work, but I realized really quickly that you can't do free work unless you get value out of it as well.
With regards to kind of the shoot days, and you and I have and Colin, we've had these discussions with whether it's a condo or a big house or a little house or a townhome or whatever it may be. What is your opinion on daytime versus nighttime? And what's, obviously the nighttime costs a bit more because you got to get the light just right, and there's only so much daylight as opposed to the nighttime when it happens. But what's your advice, I guess you could say, to people, or at the same time, what do you feel is a better product to put out there?
Me and you've discussed it. We have different views on it, actually. So for the people that are listening that don't know what he's talking about, it's called twilight. So there's once the sun sets, there's 15 minutes later, the sky goes blue. and it'll stay blue for about 45 minutes, depending on weather. And in Vancouver, when you start looking at high-end real estate across the world, somehow Vancouver's landed on this blue window for luxury.
Okay.
And so when you look at interiors in, let's say, LA on the water or Melbourne or anywhere that's very expensive, New York, right? They shoot all golden hour.
Right.
They don't do interior photography when it's at blue hour. If Vancouver does. And there's a few photographers that picked up on it in here, and then all agents jumped on it.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because if you see a grid of photos out there, people's eyes jump to the blue first.
100% any house, twilight or even golden hour exteriors are well worth it. And it's because your thumbnail is that beautiful photo that pops out from everything else, and your click-through rate, all of it, the analytics behind it, it draws people to it.
Kind of puts a highlight on it, especially on MLS and Paragon and things like that,
Absolutely.
where it just sticks out more, right?
Everybody wants the postcard.
By far.
So rule of thumb, never question Matt. When he tells you when he wants to shoot it, there's science behind it.
You know, some agents, you know, kind of grindy on price and things like that. And, you know, you would admit for sure you're not the cheapest guy or gal on the block by any means, but the quality is there that, you know, is why you charge what you charge, things like that. But in real estate, it's funny because what are, you know, an agent's kind of fixed costs, right? It's floor plans, it's photos, it's video, it's, you know, it's
Car payment.
you know, it's it's a car payment, right?
It's those meals that you take out.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, you know, all things considered in comparative to other industries, like say construction, where labor is 40%, materials 50%, you're left with 10. Why wouldn't you invest in something that, you know, truly broadcasts the product that you're here to sell in the biggest platform, that being photography, right? And it's kind of surprising that is a reaction. And, you know, the photos that we see sometimes on MLS is quite funny sometimes. The agents that we see that are taking photos on the iPhone, on the 17 Pro or whatever the hell they have. And
then they go to their office and they say, oh, see, like you can't even tell that the iPhone 17 is so nice.
But what's crazy to me, Matt, is that their clients were okay with that.
I don't know if they know. That's like, I always look at it too, and it's like, I don't know if they know the difference, right? And they must, because they look online, right? You can compare apples to apples. Why does my house look like this versus that? But it blows me away too, that as a offering as an agent, like real estate photos, you can find a $150 guy that will do a decent job.
Right.
Like imagine if your clients found out that you're listing a $2 million place and you didn't spend $150 on photos.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's what I'm driving at. Yeah.
It's crazy, you know, and like I start at $225 for a condo, and then a detached house will probably be like $325, and it goes up by the square feet, right?
Right.
But like that's just like market value price for like the photo quality that you get there.
Absolutely.
You can sell honey to bees, right? Like those agents, there's no change in them and convincing them not to. But yeah, I've seen it online. Like even this past week, unfortunately, like I saw something. It's a very expensive place. An area land value 2022, market's hot as hell. This agent just took a Google photo and then a Google satellite photo of the place, listed at 4 or 5, and then it didn't sell. And the person that I was with said at this time it should have at that price, and it would have been very easy. Now they're $1 million less today,
right?
And here we are, finally, someone that's taking photos of the place.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
We've kind of moved past a market where the real estate transactions were almost like commodities, and it's an emotional purchase now. You have to get people emotional.
Get them excited.
Yeah, exactly. And the photography is, like you say, it's the biggest thing. And then there's video and there's reels.
But everything, it's a combination.
It's a combination.
Yeah. Price is always trump everything, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Price and just like overall demand, like it's just a basic economics thing, right? You take really bad photos, but the price is right. People will come.
That's true.
But did you get as many people? Did you get in front of all of them, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the difference between like decent photography or just your iPhone guy.
Doing it and doing it well.
That's what you want. You want as many eyes and many people in there all at once.
Talking about drones, what, just kind of open-ended question with it, but where do you see the importance of drone photography in detached, freestanding home sales, listings, things like that, marketing?
Mostly for video. It's just another layer that adds onto it, or just even overall just like feeling of just how the video is and the storytelling is. the drone photos as well, it really shows the property from like a different angle, especially if you have pools in the backyard or anything like that. But like lot value size, like, you know, your house is from 1920 or something like that. You know,
Right.
it's like a majority of it's like the land. Your land's 1.3, your house is 200. You get a good perspective how big that lot is, where the trees are on it, all that stuff. Instead of the ground, a lot of properties, like they, especially with the trees, it's tough to shoot some places from the front, from the ground. You don't get an aspect of how big the lot is until you put something up in the air and you physically see it. And then location, right? It's hard if you don't have little animations of like, here's the house and then there's the highway. There's the rec center. There's, you know, Browse Mountain 15 minutes away. But you get the perspective of what location you're in.
So you're getting in your car and you're going to 1234 Smith Street for a shoot, right? And it's at 1:00 and you're in your car and it's 1:45 kind of thing, right? Are you thinking to yourself, is this home going to be ready to shoot, or what am I walking into? And how often does it a shit show? And how often are you like, oh, a big sigh of relief when the front door opens and it's like the candles are lit and everything's perfectly. What's the odds on shit show to perfection?
You know what? I am fortunate enough where I've hit the point in my career and business where the people I work with are very good agents, right? Like they've prepped the house.
Right.
Like you guys don't mess around. Your houses are always staged, right? But like, you know, you do give me a heads up when it's, hey, look, it's a tentative property. Hey, look, like this is subject to sale. They found out 2 days ago that we need to put this online. Like,
yeah, totally.
There's circumstances, right? And you have to just totally understand that, like going into it. And a lot of it sometimes is like right at the front door. Oh, hey, by the way, it's a tentative property, and I haven't even made contact with them yet or seen it. That happens a lot, ironically.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it is what it is, right? Like it's a tentative property. I could ask if I can move a few things, but it depends on how those people are. Each tenant is different, and I understand the situation.
Totally. Yeah.
Right? Like they're going to get rehomed, or hopefully someone buys it and they're still there.
Have you ever had a tenant say, you're not coming in to shoot this or anything like that? Like,
Happened last week.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't argue or anything like that.
No, not your position.
The agent did, and we were able to shoot it, but it was, they don't want the furniture or their art. Art was everywhere. Blurred out every single thing. And then she wanted to do a video as well. And it was challenging just to get something together.
And awkward, right?
Sounds like a lot of editing.
Well, it was just like the wides inside the place. I couldn't actually like get like the living room or anything. I got one wide of the bathroom, one wide of like one bedroom.
We say wide, like a wide lens,
Like
kind
a
of shed.
wide, yeah, a wide shot. Because like I could do a detail shot of a fireplace in the living room. There's no art. But then it's like, you're talking about a living room here. Like I ended up using some photos. Just did a little like quick slideshow through those little parts. But it was mostly location that we were like focusing on that one. It happens once in the blue moon. It's funny when you show up and these people clearly just don't have a good relationship with their landlord. And they're like, yeah, no, don't touch anything. And you look at the kitchen and there's just like, I don't know, like pots, pans everywhere. And like there's chicken that's out. I've seen it. Right. And there's rat traps on the ground. There's no rats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had that.
Oh, like they've almost,
they
quote unquote staged it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had that before where a tenant protested the listing. And I get it. You're being displaced and everything like that. It's not us. You know, the owner really wants this process to happen.
Yeah.
But I had one tenant who protested, went down to the storage locker, grabbed the entire contents of the storage locker and dumped them out in the family room and left weeks of dishes out on the thing. Like we had to Photoshop everything.
You know, Colin and I and the team, like whenever we go and sell a tenanted property, it's definitely a kill them with kindness as much as you can scenario, right? And
it's communication, and realtors are listening right now. You should meet with them beforehand.
Yeah.
Before I show up, it shouldn't be like, hey, we're here to shoot your house. No, you should go through the tenancy agreement and tell them what their rights are.
Yeah.
Right. And a timeline on what's going to happen here. You know, if they need to be paid out or sign a tenancy to end, or agreement, I believe it's called. But those things, like I have a few agents that swear by it. And it makes a huge difference when you show up. They give them a little checklist like, hey, look, we would appreciate like if You know, all the blinds were up and the beds were made and like all the dishes were away. Like just very simple.
Simple planning and preparation. You know, we have rules with, you know, agency and things like that. Like we can't say you're shooting a property and it's right by a bunch of huge power lines and things like that. We can't ask you to, oh, Matt, can you just Photoshop that out and take the power lines out and things like that? Do you get asked that a lot?
You can't misrepresent the property.
Right.
That's it. Like that's all it is, right? Like, and that's I had a guy just the other day. It was a Richmond house. It was probably like 2.8. It was a really beautiful home. They had like these big stones that were like 1 foot by 1 foot on the outside of the house, but they got like brown. But they looked like some were just discolored. Like they're all
like from one stone to another kind of thing.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, it bugs me. He's like, can we just Photoshop it all to be one color? And I was like, look, like that's misrepresenting the property.
Yeah.
I was like, we have to shoot it to what the eye is. He's like, no. If it rains, they're all wet. They're all one color. I'm like, yeah, that's a good argument, right? But
Was he out there with the garden hose spraying down the house?
No, he definitely wasn't. But he pushed it, and I was just like, look, like, you could talk to the agent and see how you want to represent the property. Like we could do anything.
Oh, this is the owner of the house.
It was the owner of the house. It wasn't the agent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it happens all the time, and not a lot of power lines. When I was first starting, there was a lot of people in West Van. They were like, can you Photoshop out the power lines for the view? And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I learned, I was like, before, like, this was like when I was first starting, I was like, oh, yeah, no, you can't do that.
Even if you could do that,
yeah.
Even if we were allowed to have our photographer, you, do that.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen? You're going to Photoshop this gigantic power line or a series of power lines out of the view over, you know, Burrard Inlet or whatever it might be. And then I'm going to call my clients, say we have a showing at 5:30 on Friday night. And then I got to leave my house at 5 o'clock or 4:45. I'm going to get there. I'm going to set the house up, and I'm taking the longest route around with my conclusion here and making it more dramatic. But
build it up.
Then our clients at the house, they're going to leave. They're going to go out for an hour. They've probably worked for 45 minutes to get the house ready. And then the showing starts at 5:30. The agent walks in and the buyers walk in. And then I hear them over talking. They go, well, what are these power lines? This is a deal breaker. And we've wasted everyone's time, right? So if it's something that you know it's going to cause an issue, it's more important, you know, to have that discussion, you know, for us as agents during the listing presentation to say, hey, your value could be X, but it's probably more like Y because you have a giant ass power line impeding your view, right? So why even hide it?
I hate misrepresenting properties.
Yeah.
And I love leaning into what the weaknesses and strengths are of the place. Because it's the same like you just said. Like, let's say that it's beside a school.
Yeah.
Oh, great. You might hear the kids screaming and stuff, but you know what's nice? Is that every day, it's only going to take you 5 minutes to walk your kid to school, and you get to experience that.
Totally. Yeah, I remember we had a property just across the way here, and I think it's 4 or 5 houses, you know, away in parallel to the freeway. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, speaking of North Vancouver specifically, anywhere you go, the highway is kind of sort of thing, right? Mm-hmm. I remember when you were shooting that one just over here, we were doing the drone photography, and it's like, yeah, don't hide the fact that it's next to the highway. Because like I say, I go back to that same point, and it's about qualifying buyers and buyers agents to say like, okay, like you've seen the photos, great. Obviously, that's why you're calling me. Your clients like the listing, but you know, prep them and just pre-vet and have those questions and say, you know, look, it's near the highway, but it's also near a massive park. It's in one of the best areas in North Vancouver. All these sorts of things, right? Just so that you're not wasting time.
For me, the misrepresentation and all that, virtual staging's starting to come into play here. It's been in our industry now for probably about 3 years. It's gone very popular between a lot of people. What's the rules along those lines with what you can and can't do at some point? Because I have a feeling that lawsuits are popping up.
Listen at me.
Oh, yeah.
I think I know.
Okay. I thought you were looking at me being like, you know the rules.
Well, as I understand it, and this is, I would still always, a big disclaimer here, double check. You can have virtual staging, but then your next photo, or you have to show the photo not virtually staged. So you can create the facade or the theory or the look, but then you have to be providing the raw actual photo to accompany that staged photo.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a rule or if that's just good practice. Okay. But I think you need to disclose.
You know, it's a constant question, whether it's this industry or, you know, whatever it is, artificial intelligence, AI, having the presence, right?
Oh, shit, this podcast is going to be number one.
But it's like, We get the question all the time, do you think you're going to be replaced by AI? I find it hard to believe that real estate agents are going to be replaced by AI. Every time you turn on the TV, there's a new iPhone 17 or an 18 or 19 or 20 and Pro, and it's showing the shit that these cameras do, which is quite amazing. Yeah. And it's quite fun, and it's awesome to have for your life and your kids and stuff like that. But do you kind of sit there and watch the same Apple ads and go, shit, in 5 years, this thing might be better than me?
No, because the camera sensor is too small. So like you'll enter rooms that are low light, like an iPhone. Specifically, like right now, the way that it's set up, it's just that the sensors are too small, so it does darker rooms. It doesn't pick up, like it's not sharp, it's not as nice. It's like, and maybe one day, one day.
Tim Cook, if you're hearing this, that's Matt talking, not Colin. I love the iPhone.
Yeah, but you go ahead and shoot a dark room. Go into the basement and then stand with the window behind you and then take a photo and see how it looks compared to a bright sunny room with views, right?
Yeah.
So the iPhone is crazy because now when you do take a photo, it's using two lenses to put one photo in, or they're photo stacking. So you can see outside the window and inside at the same time. It's a really good light. But the sensors, there's only so much you could do when the sensor's the tip of your finger.
Yeah.
But you know what? I want to go back to the virtual staging thing because what's happening now in our industry, and it's been like this for a while, maybe like 2-3 years. There's programs that I could just upload a photo to and it's $5 or maybe $1 a photo, and they'll virtually stage it, the room, but it's not good. But you can't do two angles at once. So let's say I have two photos of one living room, it'll put separate furniture in it, and it's been like that for like 3-4 years. Now ChatGPT, you could throw it in there, or even there's a new one called Nano Banana. Yeah, Gemini, right? They're good, but what's happening is that it doesn't just furnish your room. It will change your walls. It looks like the same walls, but it's like a rendering now.
No, okay, yeah.
Right? It doesn't look
like a
real.
cartoon.
Yeah, and I've seen some that go through ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is not there yet, and it's like your house is a rendering. Like that's not even the house.
Yeah.
Like what you fixed the grass, the messed up gutter, you fixed the roof all in this one like photo. I'm like, whoa, right?
Yeah.
Talk about misrepresented. And it's just like, I could see huge issues in the future with this. And it's because agents are cutting, like, it's one thing to virtually stage a room where you don't manipulate the room and you just plop in furniture.
Yeah.
That's what I've always been doing. That's what I like, right? But once you start changing the floors and it's just like, what's going on? Like another case here, because I just shot this actually. And I want to get your opinion on it because I couldn't believe it. Because like when it comes to virtual staging and renderings, if you're doing pre-sale, everything's rendering, right?
Yeah.
But then what's built is not the exact same thing, right? And I shot maybe like I think it was townhome community, but they had condos too. The developer went into rescindance, I believe it's called.
Receivership?
Yeah, there we go. I don't know who completed this project specifically. Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe they got a loan. They had renderings of pools, gyms, all this like amenities and stuff. And the people that already bought in already paid, and they didn't get any of that.
Really?
They cut out the amenities.
Yeah, they cut out the amenities completely.
Good night.
Yeah. So it's just like, what happens then when it's not a built product? You're getting renderings of a gym, a pool, and all that stuff. And then what's built after you put your down payments on it?
Well, I mean, two sides of it, right? What was in the fine print?
Oh,
right. These are renderings. These do not represent.
Who's your realtor, right?
Well, no, totally. No, it totally did.
Legal advice.
Yeah.
ILA.
No, but totally. You're both totally right. It's a realtor's job. Like, read that fine print. Yeah, that pool looks great, but is it going to happen, right? But that's the fine print, and you got to read on that stuff too, right?
We're going to have issues with this in the future.
You think the furniture would look a lot better in virtual stage? It looks like it all came from the brick, like warehouse sale in the tent. Reels and, videos and the importance of that within our industry. Like Colin and I know it, and not everything. A large percentage of our marketing is through social media, more specifically Instagram. And I say Instagram because,
As we're older, we don't TikTok.
Well, nail on the head, Colin, because what I'm seeing in Instagram is kind of the migration that we saw on Facebook, where all of a sudden you get a friend request from your dad or your mom. right? Where the baby boomers have
Figured it out.
and they're like, this is great. And they're getting their,
Their screen time.
on that too, right? And I think that's because, like Colin says, the TikTok and the other platforms that are out there, I don't know. I'm no genius on the analytics, but it seems like it's for the younger demographics possibly. With Instagram, we're seeing good exposure. We get a lot of likes, we get a lot of follows, things like that. I'm the first to admit that I've never, sold a home from Instagram, right?
Oh, but you've bought one. No, you have. You told me through your story post.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
You have sold one through it.
But where do you see the importance on an agent being in front of the camera? Because I think it's a fine line you walk where your client then sees that if you're listing a home and they go, well, this is a video of Scott kind of in front of my house and that sort of thing. And you're featuring the house, but you're also featuring yourself, much like how an open house is more so for the agent than it is for, the seller. It can be more convenient because you can put more people through the house in a short amount of time. But do you see a pretty big importance, and do you push that on a lot of agents that you shoot for to say, hey, you should be in front of the camera and this is where it's going?
There's a huge difference between what a YouTube video would be versus what a social media video would be and how you would create it. And I see people mix this up all the time. Agents miss this. And then they post a video that they made for YouTube of the listing video, which is a tour video,
yep.
Which is basically, let's just show this house in the best light in the video. And it's like kind of a walkthrough. It's just a different form of media. But they'll post it on their Instagram.
And it's 2 minutes long? Is that what we're getting?
No, it's just the first scene is just their logo. And then, you're 8 seconds in, and then it's just a 4-second drone shot.
Yeah.
Guess what? You have to change the word of algorithm to like your audience.
Yeah.
It's like, what do your audience want?
Yeah.
Right? And that's a really big thing. And what they want.
Audience is a fickle son bitch.
Yeah, they want to see your face. They want to see who you are. And I also do believe that you should be on camera for both videos. I find that it adds a depth of layer to the video and storytelling. If you look at my horizontal videos for YouTube showing the property, I like to be inside the house within like 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Like we do put your face on it just to brand it, but also that first 20 seconds is the most boring part of the video. Because what? You show the outside of the building.
Yeah.
How many seconds do you need for that?
Yeah.
Like we're all addicted to reels right now.
Many people's seconds. You don't have seconds.
No. We show your face, you say the best thing about the place. If you want to say the name, whatever, but I don't put the address on anymore. I don't put the address logo animation. Everyone that's like trying to figure this thing out, they was like, oh, you didn't put the address on it. I'm like, I don't do that anymore. Like, all right, watch 5 real estate videos and tell me like 2 of the addresses or one of them. You won't tell me any of them. When you guys are on camera versus when you're not, how is it performing, right?
I cringe at myself.
Yeah.
I really wanted to avoid for a very long time until you both peppered me on it to get on the screen, and I dislike it. But then I just want to go the other direction and make fun of myself and have fun with it. And there's been some pretty viral content out there that I have a lot of fun with. In fact, school pickup yesterday on the gravel field, I had my son's friend's mom, who's an actress, dead serious, be like, you need to get an agent. And I was like, absolutely not. She's like, you could do commercials. I'm like, no.
But and Colin gets more into the theatric videos, and I got to do a better part of that too. But it does get follows, and it does get watches and all this kind of stuff. But it's also a fine line you walk.
Totally.
Colin and I send them back to each other, real estate agents, whether in the States or in Europe or whatever like that. And some of these videos are like, whoa, are your sellers seeing this? The shit they're saying in the videos, and, to get the follows, to get the interest and things like that. And it's such a fine line that you walk. And I think Colin's pretty creative on putting together some sort of a storyboard or a plan. And whereas I kind of more wing it and just want to talk a little bit about the house. But to your point, to your credit, you've always been good about, look, people are going to know how many bedrooms there are. People are going to know how many bathrooms there are. You don't need to describe the very straightforward facts about the house. It's more about what we would say to someone when they come in. That's what you've coached us on to say. What do you love about the house? What makes this house stand out about 1, 2, 3, 4 as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 6, the house down the road? Why is it better? What are these features? And because the video is going to tell, right? And the description below is going to say 6 bedrooms, 4 bath, this kind of thing, basement suite, yada, yada, yada. But it's more about showing the people, and it's true of any property that you're selling, what are the things that make it stand out against the other homes that are for sale too, right?
Yeah, and what I see a lot of agents kind of miss on it is they start doing this and they'll give it a shot for 3 months and then they'll be like, oh, like I don't see any return on this,
Right?
and there's no point of this.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I watched someone just recently talk about it last night. It's like if your child was learning to walk,
Yeah,
and they failed 3 or 4 times or 5 times, like would you just tell them to stop walking?
Yeah.
That's it. No, you get up and you keep going.
right.
Like you eventually get better. You get more comfortable on camera. Like Colin was lucky. He was a great right away.
Mm-hmm.
First video we did, I was like, oh my god. He was like, it was Wayne's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. That was a fantastic video.
Yeah.
Well, he has such a nice lawn. And I was like,
Yeah.
can I just lay down on the lawn and pet it?
Yeah.
But it was a perfect blend of like
But also a key
Being-
feature of the house.
being very professional on it, and then also just like you showed your own personality in it as well. And it was just a good coherence of blending, because that's like a really big thing with you being on camera. Is like you get to show both sides of it, like who you are as a person and market the home.
Well, people.
Yeah, that's been number one for us. Coming out of the gate was like, look, we're not trying to take over the world and eat everybody's lunch here, but we want to attract people that get our sense of humor and, are all on the same page. So let's not pretend to be anything else. Let's just,
Be
do that.
yourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, heard this from many people. Some of the smartest people I know kind of within the big real estate industry. People will buy and sell. Well, it's true of any industry, cars or bikes or whatever you're selling. People buy and sell with people that they connect with, that they like, that you're personable, that they want to sit and have a conversation with, just like this, right? But it's a fine line where you don't want to just be selling yourself. You have a product to sell and a job to do, but, connecting with anyone, whether it's a showing when they come in or an open house and things like that. If you're very, abrupt and a jerk, people are going to be in and out of that house in 5 minutes, much like a video. They're going to watch it for 5 seconds and go, look at this schmuck, right?
I truly believe too that like video with 500 views, it's still like a successful video.
That's success. Absolutely. It's just 500 people.
Yeah, but like, most of them are going to be realtors in your area, right? And then they'll second look at this property. Or maybe they didn't know. And like you say, like that you haven't sold a property through social media, but like you indirectly don't know how many times you've put something back on someone's radar.
Sure. Or maybe someone's daughter watched it and said, hey, you should see this. And then things we're not aware of.
I'm sure you've seen a property on social media and turned around and took a second look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I've also found, like, when I first started in this industry, like how well just old school marketing works.
Yeah.
Right? Like old school signage. I remember one guy, he's an older guy. He was he worked for Starbucks, and he's a huge signage guy because he's gotten huge success from it. And same with mail outs. Just phone calls with people, right? I find it's a combination of kind of everything, but the video stuff is where they're like everything's kind of like pushed towards.
Yeah, it's interesting how much of that old school marketing, or call it old school, but the print media, things like that. Like one of our best clients, I think we've now done 8 or 9 ends or transactions with them. They called me off of a mailer. Very straightforward. We're thinking of selling. Come on in. The first one goes in the bin. The second one goes in the bin. The third one maybe sits on the kitchen counter for an hour. The fourth one, if you're lucky, gets stuck on the fridge magnet. And maybe the fifth one, they go, oh, you know what? We should call that agent, right? Through that repetition. But that's not untrue of what we're talking about with the social media thing and just brand recognition, putting yourself out there with it, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But going on camera is like probably like pound for pound the best thing you can do for your brand, for social media, because like these videos of houses, like just think about it, how many times you're scrolling through on Instagram and watch the full video of a house, even if it's very quick.
Yeah.
You're not.
You're
there for that person.
Final kind of question for you, Matt. Someone's getting ready, think of selling. What are 1 or 2 quick tips you'd give on, either it's on photo day or things they can do to, just spruce up the house or anything like that, any kind of quick tips, advice that you give to home sellers and things that they can do to stand out?
Well, I would take a step back and look at like the main issue is who you hire.
Okay.
Right? You have to hire you too, obviously. Yeah, because that would be taken care of.
Yeah.
No, look at who you're interviewing. Interview 3-4 people.
Yeah.
See what their prices and stuff. But like you deep dive on their Instagram, see what they do for video, if they're on there or not, or photos, and look at not their buys, but like look their solds, because sometimes it's like properties that they ended up buying, so it's not their own marketing package, but it's just listed. Or if you go on the REW, like they better have an REW profile.
Yeah.
Like they better. Majority of people go on REW or realtor.ca, right? Have it set up. Like you just see if their website's proper, look at their past listings. Like some properties are tenanted. Some properties are an older couple that are downsizing and they just can't get things done and ready. Like the situations do happen, but if 8 of 10 of their listings are staged, look proper, all the painting's done, the garden's ready, like, and the photos are all good, nothing's dark. Like you want bright and big are what sell in real estate. It's the opposite of what architectural photos are.
Yeah.
And my advice is just look at their offerings, right? Are they on the camera in the video or not? Do they offer video? Are they doing the drone? Right? Like these are all things like, oh, like, look, you have a detached house. Like, are they doing twilight photography for it? Like these things all do matter.
Yeah.
They're all little things that add up. And, it's the difference between 100 people coming through your listing or 125.
Yeah.
And that could be a huge difference at the end of the day. Like a good agent will provide the value for the results. I truly believe that.
Yeah. And partnered with, a good product like what you put out.
Yeah.
It's all key. It all has to work together, and it's the planning and preparation and process is long even before you go live to the MLS. There's so much that needs to be done and should be done. That's key, right? Do you have any horror stories or anything like that you want to tell?
It's always like these ones that are like hoarder-ish, and they'll be like, hey, like, oh, do you need me to move that? Like, do you need me to move that one vase there? I'm like, yeah, no, if you take it out, it'll be better. I've learned to just be like, yeah.
But there's 10,000 newspapers sitting in the other
yeah, like my socks are stuck to the ground, Like, but it's just, it's rude to say because you understand that, like, that's just a health issue of some people.
Yeah.
I shot one where there's like 3 people in there and they're smoking cigarettes inside the house while I'm in there.
While you're shooting it?
Yeah, I've had 2 clients smoke cigarettes inside the house. One of them was an old lady that was retiring and going to Amica, and she didn't care. She was in her living room in front of her TV.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect. Boom, a glot,
Yeah.
The other 2 were like just smoking cigarettes, and their whole house was just like gross. It was.
Man.
It's just a lot of grossness.
Man.
Or just the hotels. Like I've entered rooms where it's like a 2-3 bedroom house and there's 12 people in it. And there's beds everywhere, nothing's made. It's just like the darker side of it. Nothing crazy though.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I got one last question. So if all your appointments on one day cancel, where would we find you? When Matt gives himself a day, where's he going?
Yeah, I'll be working. That's the unfortunate.
Oh, it's editing day?
If it's on, I'm doing, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed at like 2-3 in the morning. So like usually if I'm that busy, I'll be editing no matter what. But if you're telling me I've taken care of all my stuff.
Yeah, you got a hall pass.
Ooh.
Guilt-free hall
pass. A Sombrio. I'll be camping on the beach, or I'll be at Jordan River, camping on the beach and surfing. If not, I will be up in Whistler. I have a few friends that live up there, and if it's snowing, because I've become a snow princess.
Okay.
I like skiing on a nice crisp day, but all my friends better be out there.
Yeah.
If I'm by myself or with one other person, I got other things to do. But if it's snowing, I'll be out there.
Good.
And it's pretty consistent across the board. Probably those 2 things.
That's awesome.
So we find you at Viewpoint Visuals.
VP Visuals.
VP Visuals.
So where can we find you on Instagram? What's your handle?
It's Viewpoint Visuals still.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, keep it tight.
Yeah. My phone number is still a 705 number.
Oh, man. Oh.
I know, right? I know. At least I'm not on a Gmail anymore. But I still answer my Gmail one.
That's awesome. Matt, this has been more than informative, and we can't thank you enough for taking the time, joining us in the podcast council here in the green room. And like you said, people can find you at VP Visuals online, on your website, on Instagram, on all these things. Thanks again for coming on, and this has been a blast.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us. And remember, in Vancouver real estate, nothing's off the table and everything's negotiable. Subscribe now to the Real Estate of Things wherever you get your podcasts.